face. It keeps me swimming through the darkness of this place, rolling with a new wave, new wave. So I say, come on, leave your light on. You're the only thing I need. So I say, come on, leave your light on, so I can find my way to where I'm meant to be. 'Cause it's a lonely night without you on the starry sea. I don't always get it right. Caught up in my dreams and thrown back by the tides, but I'm holding on tonight. For the moon to let us pass as the stars align, and you will be by my side. I need a sign, so I say, come on, leave your light on. You're the only thing I need. So I say, come on, leave your light on, so I can find my way to where I'm meant to be. 'Cause it's a lonely night without you. Well, I've been losing my mind, haunted by emotion. Oh, when the waves crash down, and they're testing my devotion. Devotion. Oh, so I say, come on, leave your light on. You're the only thing I need. Oh, I say, come on, leave your light on, so I can find my way to where I'm meant to be. Oh, I say, come on, leave your light on. You're the only thing I need. Oh, I say, come on, leave your light on, so I can find my way to where I'm meant to be. 'Cause it's a lonely night without you on the starry sea.
Hello and welcome to episode 27 of the Music Community Podcast. My name is Dan Drumstone and I'm here with fellow host Doc Bizzle. And we have two special guests, Esme and Max from TheLuckMusic. And Steph is not here today. She's got some stuff in real life that's going on. So we do miss her a ton. So our best to
We
Steph.
miss you, Steph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we miss you. But we're very excited to talk to you guys. You are personally one of my favorite people here on Twitch, gaming wise or whatever. Like when I'll never forget. I found your
guys.
channel last June. I was in between teaching students, and someone canceled, and I was like, it was right when like I had been streaming for a while, but I hadn't really got into the music community yet. So I started browsing some other people, and I was like, who are these guys? And then you guys were at the piano, you had that like nice grand piano. I was like, what is happening? And you were painting, and I was
my
like
God, I
blown
miss
away
that.
that I was like sold ever since. So I want to talk, we'll start from the beginning, but I'm a very long time fan of yours. So welcome. It's a pleasure. to
Well,
have
we're
you guys
both
here.
fans of both of your channels. I love watching you guys. So thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, I just wish
really
I'd been
cool
able
to
to
be
meet you
here.
guys at TwitchCon.
I
Wow.
know. I wanted to talk
Yeah,
about
man,
that.
it was really great. When I came back, I was like, how am I gonna not make Max feel really crap that he wasn't there? But it was so good. I need to tell him all about it. Sorry, dude. There's actually a really great photo that Bill Nash took, where there are like loads of music streamers.
Yeah. At
I
88-Bit's
love that
house?
photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
I mean, it was a terrible night, right? Like, no one had fun. It was just the worst.
You wouldn't have actually enjoyed it at all.
The pizza had pineapples on it.
Any fun at all?
Trevor just yelled at us
Hey.
like the whole time we were at his
There's
house.
nothing in the
Did you guys have domestic light beer? Did you have domestic light beer?
There
Yeah,
was
it was-
domestic light beer.
Ah.
It was gross.
Ah!
We had hug
Domestic light
barrels.
beer and craft beer.
Yeah.
These were there.
Yeah. But can we start at the beginning with you guys? Esme, we did get to talk a little bit about TwitchCon, and I loved hearing the stories of how you guys got started musically and all that. But I know you guys both have two different stories, but if you guys don't know, they're brother and sister. So when did music
Yeah.
kind of enter the equation for you guys?
You say
I'm the
you're
brother.
Don't say you're younger than me.
I'm the brother.
Don't.
Just in case there's anyone out there who's not sure if that's me. I'm the brother. I'm having my hair particularly
Wait,
short at the moment. Esme's the sister.
Oh
Some
right,
people-
sorry.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone
where
once
is he
asked us-
going with this?
Someone once asked us, they were like, so which one's the brother?
When?
I feel like about, I don't know, a few months
I didn't
ago.
know that.
It was awesome.
It's normally.
I appreciate
Hey,
it.
who's older?
So I'm adding it to our news set.
I love it.
Anyway, so yeah, the question was.
Like,
by the
wait,
way, we go
so
on
how did we
tangents all
start?
the time.
Yeah, like
Sorry
when
about
did
that.
when
We
did
started-
when did music enter the equation for you guys?
You want to go first? You go first.
I can try and go first. I mean, the oldest probably should lead the way. You can fill it. You can fill in all the gaps whilst I get.
No, I've got my own story. Thanks.
Oh yeah.
I'm an independent
Esme's like,
person.
"Shh, independent woman.
I'm not just living in the shadow of my
Independent-
brother. I am
independent
just living
captain.
in the shadow of my brother.
Basically,
Go for it.
we. So
This is awesome.
was
Sorry. If you didn't know, we're definitely siblings. Now you definitely
Yeah.
know.
and I'm the brother. And so we started. When
no,
did we?
you start. Where did music come into your life?
For me, like, as in, where did I start my musical life?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah.
Oh wow, this is big. Okay, guys, we'll strap in.
We're gonna be here for a really long time.
Yeah. All right. Long story short, I was 10 years old, and I auditioned for the Chapel Royal. The deal was we couldn't afford school fees, so I auditioned to sing in the Queen's Choir, and the deal was the Queen would pay my school fees if I sang. And they accepted me,
A
and
lot.
so
How many times a week did you sing?
4 or 5, but just like in preparation for the Sunday service.
Yeah.
So at St James's in London. So I'd go to these rehearsals and we'd sing as a choir, and I learned to sing from 10 till I was about 13, and sang some solos and did some some choral stuff, which was cool. And then I got interested in playing the piano, so I'd play the piano a bit and kind of.
Tell them about your. Always ate apricot.
What?
How do you not remember that?
I don't remember
Oh,
that.
that's all I remember.
I-
Really crunchy ones.
I had this.
What's her name? Britta?
Oh, her.
Britta, yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a lodger come and stay with us for a little bit, and she was German, and she was really good at the piano, but wow, yeah, I think she was vegan before it became super cool.
Yeah.
And she would just eat all this vegan food and like take
But like next to you
activated
whilst you were
charcoal.
playing.
Yeah, whilst I was playing and stuff. So I stopped doing the piano and I picked up the bass guitar and got into jazz and played at the opening of the Millennium Bridge in London because our
Nice.
school was right next to it. And just like I learned guitar so I could learn. I went through a big kind of punk phase, so I learned songs by like Blink and Green Day so I had this whole kind of musical journey. But it wasn't until I kind of had become I'd gone to university and done economics and stuff and become a stockbroker. It wasn't until I'd left that job when I was 25 that I kind of thought, perhaps I could do something in music, because I'd always done music, I'd always enjoyed it, but I never considered actually like stepping up to the plate and being like, okay, I'm going to do this as a career.
Yeah.
So I came back from traveling. I went away for a year to just get my head straight and see a bit of the world after being kind of, I'd always lived a bit of a textbook life, just school, straight to university, straight into a job, like straight through. And then I just took a year and went to India and Latin America and stuff, and went trekking in the Himalayas. And
Wow, that's
not at
awesome.
all. Yeah, it was super fun. It was super fun, and then I met this guy. So I'd written a song or two. I'd bought a guitar on my travels in Thailand that I then sold for a plane ticket when I was in Colombia. And basically, over that time, I'd written a couple of songs, and I met this guy, and his name was Tony Calder. He used to be the business partner of Andrew Loog Oldham, who used to manage the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
And I met him randomly at a place having mulled wine. It was Christmas 2010, and I was sort of wandered in and said hi and stuff, and said, "Oh, I'm thinking of doing music and stuff." And he said, "Oh, well, send me your music." And so I sent him a couple of songs, a couple of demos that I'd done as voice recordings on a phone or something. And he said, "God, they're really bad."
Oh no!
And I said, "Oh." He actually said, "Those are shit. Those songs are shit." I said, "Okay." He said, "But you've got a good voice. Now, what I'm going to do," and he said, "I'm going to send you 100 pop songs." And I had 100 emails from him on YouTube.
Wow.
All these like YouTube files, and they were songs dating back from the 60s, 70s. And he said, "Go and write me a pop song." And so I did. And he said, "Also, whilst you're at it, go and learn how to use Pro Tools, because you'll need to sound good, and you'll need to learn to become. You'll have to do all the stuff yourself. You have to produce your own music. If you want to become a songwriter and stuff when you're older, then." And so that was my journey, and
That's amazing.
it was cool. It was fun. It was fun. It was a bit lonely, and actually,
You wrote loads of songs and you were recording them all at home, and
yeah,
awesome.
did a lot of recording at home. Learned how to use Pro Tools.
Which
Someone
is
lent-
hard. If you've never done
It's
that
hard
stuff
from
before,
scratch.
it's hard. Yeah.
And you were playing shows in London.
Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to get my head around even, I didn't know what plugins were, so I didn't understand why everything didn't sound super legit.
Yeah.
So it was only when I learned how to use EQ. So I spent a long time looking at reverb, and actually it was only last year that I discovered what a bus was. So I'd send things to a bus. I was like, wow, how comes it didn't even know what this was? So I had these super hardcore sessions where all the plugins would be on every single channel.
Your computer's going, "Why are you doing this?"
Yeah.
Well,
It's why is the
Is
fan?
that why it used to crash all the time?
Yeah. Why is the fan
Yeah.
breaking? Why?
One
Why
of
is
the-
the fan so loud?
one of the cool things that probably, I noticed this. Sorry to interrupt, but you guys always sound professional. That was the first thing I was told when I first came into your channel. I was like, it's professional. You guys know sound. You know what to do. And working with microphones and recording without any plugins or anything like that, I'm sure you had to focus on getting that perfect angle with the microphone, not just being I'll fix it later, if you approach recording with that mentality, with not relying on these things that we have to make us sound even better, the recordings going in are going to be great. So that probably helped you so much, even though it was probably super annoying that you didn't know you had that when you figured it out. But in the long run, figuring out tone and where to put a microphone up to an acoustic guitar, that probably helped you so much.
It did. You're completely right. It was amazing. It was a perfect crash course. I just wish I'd studied sound.
Yeah.
Because even now, I heard about something called sidechain compression or something, and I don't know what it is. And so I bought this thing about mastering or mixing, and I gotta watch it, but I don't know how I'm gonna have time.
It's the glue.
This
It's the glue.
rehearse and-
It's the glue.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know what a bus compressor is.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Max,
We're
I
gonna
wanted to
diverge.
say, kudos to you for having the resilience to have someone who showed interest crap on your songs, and not just brush them off and go, they just don't appreciate, the beauty of my songwriting or whatever. Because I know a lot of us, when we if you write a song, I mean, that's a deeply personal thing. Even if it's just one you threw together, it's but it's still your baby. You created it. And I've seen a lot of people get sort of shot down if everybody doesn't absolutely love the first song they wrote, and they're just like, I'm honest, people just don't understand me and they don't embrace that. Okay, then help me become better. Kudos to you, man, for still running with it and taking the guys' advice and continuing to write, because I love the songs you guys write, both of you together. I think you do an amazing job.
Well, I have a lot to thank Esme for. I mean, I still write pretty shit songs, so
I wish people were understanding that same mentality when I tell them their babies aren't that cute, you know.
You can't fix that though, dude. I mean,
maybe they'll grow out of it.
Are deeply personal, but at the same time, he was right. I mean, you know, I'd never written anything before. I didn't know what craft was. I had this song. It didn't even have a chorus. You don't need a chorus necessarily, but it does make it interesting.
Yeah,
because then people can have something to sing along to. Yeah. So he taught me, the concept of writing a pop song. You know, the idea of having a verse followed by a pre-chorus or just straight to a chorus, and then another verse, and then a chorus, and then a different section where it sounds a bit different. We call it the middle eight. Sometimes it's 8 bars. Sometimes it's 16 or so. You guys call it a bridge.
We still call it the middle eight, even when it's 16 or 24.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like, that's not actually.
Yeah,
it's true though. Like
but it was cool.
We went back. I had a friend hop in stream the other day that I've known for a long time out here, and he recorded me like years ago, and we found the recording and we played it. And it's fun to listen to, but at the same time, you're going, man, I thought this was gonna like change the world when I wrote it and recorded it. You know, like we're sitting in that studio back then, like this is it, guys. This is the song. And then listening back on it, you're going, that is not the song. You know, it is interesting to hear it either years later or, you know, someone who does have a lot of experience give that feedback. It is cool.
So of everything you learned to play, Max, what do you feel most comfortable playing? Piano, guitar, bass? What do you enjoy the most from a comfort level?
You know, there is nothing like sitting down at a grand piano or even an upright. Like I'm sure you definitely feel that. Like you know the score when I mean, so we picked up some work when we were in we ended up traveling around Europe when Esme and I had become the duo, and basically I realized that I've been doing it my whole life, but I could literally sit down and just improvise, and they'd pay me for it on the ship. So we had to perform for a certain number of hours a day, and so I could get like 1.5 hours kind of done by doing something that I loved, that I thought was like really kind of fun.
Called it Twinkle Twinkle.
Yeah.
No, Tinkle Tinkle.
Yeah, something like that. And I just sit down in the foyer of this ship and just, play and stuff and make it up as I went along and make loads of mistakes, but people couldn't really tell. But I could. And then I'd try and style them out by being like, I'd repeat like the mess ups.
Repeat the mistake.
And like, I meant to play.
That is intentional key change.
I meant to play that chord. It sounds funny, but it's this is neoclassical right now in this section of this jazz song.
Experimental.
That's what I was always told, is if you mess up, just do it 2 more times and call it jazz. Just say it's just jazz.
That's it.
How about you, Esme? Where, because we talked at TwitchCon and you had mentioned like going to, rock shows and stuff like that with Max.
Yeah.
When you were younger, but when did you start like getting into music before that, or?
I was really young, so I don't remember it too much, but I remember Mum and Dad sent me to music school on a Saturday when I think I was like 4 or 5.
Yeah. I
was only there I don't even know. I just have memories. It was called Guildhall School of Music, and it's one of the 3 main music schools. But on Saturdays for kids, they do like Saturday music school, and so you'd go. And I just remember like running around in group. Like you do this thing that was just rhythm for kids, and so it was very physical.
It was carnage. It was just cowbell.
Did you ever watch?
Yes, I did. I remember like once I got dragged along and I was like, this is terrible. This is like torture. So, it's basically the cowbell song.
Okay, so that was part of it. And then you do like singing and sight singing and stuff. And then
Hello.
you had an instrument, and I don't know how I chose the harp, but I was like, Dad,
Really?
I want to play the harp. And he was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to drive you every time. Because it's massive, even for kids, like, it's massive. And you put it in a sleeping bag, and we put it in the boot of the car, and we'd go over to Guildhall, which is in the Barbican in London, and then that
boot
stopped.
of the car? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
The
the
boot,
boot?
the trunk of the
The
car.
trunk.
So the harp
boot.
would go in the trunk of the car.
No, I'm learning.
And
I
we'd,
love it. I
rent-
never knew it was boot. Cool.
Yeah, we'd rent this harp. And I don't know why I stopped. I can't really remember much else. But
difficult to
then,
transport.
yeah, and probably didn't have the money anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of
So
expensive.
then, yeah, and then
It's an expensive habit.
So then I went to school, and I took up cello. Maybe because the harp teacher also played cello, and she was like, okay, if you can't afford to come to Guildhall, but maybe I could teach you privately. So we did. I did cello, but I did actually play that until I was 16. So that's a good 15 years ago. But and then I stopped. I mainly stopped because I basically hated practicing and I hated performing. So I took my grade 4, and then I just was like, I'm done. I don't want to perform in front of this person. I get really, really nervous. And my poor cello teacher, I'd rock up every week, and actually poor mum for paying and taking me to these classes, because he'd be like, you haven't practiced, have you? Like, yeah, I did loads of practice.
I never practiced.
0 improvement. I hated it. And it took me, now in hindsight, I realised that my relationship with music was a creative one, I'm not like a particularly skilled musician, but I didn't know that I wanted to write music then.
You are pretty much. If you
Now that I rehearse.
yeah, it's just,
I rehearse more than I did then.
I'd say
but-
you're just as skilled as like.
I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah. But so I stopped playing cello. But I'd say that I think that being exposed to music at a really young age, even though I didn't like particularly keep it going,
Yeah.
probably felt ingrained in some way. And then I also sang in choirs, mainly because you didn't have to sing solos. So I was an alto 1, and you just kind of, there were loads of us, and you just sit in, and I loved singing,
Yeah.
but just didn't want to do it alone. So I used to be in choir, and then I moved schools at 16, and I think partly why I quit cello was everyone there was kind of grade 8 at everything.
Yeah.
And I just thought, oh, screw this, I'm not playing an orchestra here. Orchestra was actually really fun because my friends were in orchestra, and we used to have loads of fun. But I kept singing because I wanted to, and we got to sing in Westminster Abbey as well, which was amazing. So I just thought, I'm not going to pass this up. Every week we sang in Westminster Abbey, and it was great. I just loved just that hour or 2 of choir practice, because it was an outlet. And then I didn't do music from 18 on at all. I didn't sing, I didn't play any instruments, I didn't really think about it. I'd always wanted to be an artist, like a visual artist.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that because I realised, I didn't really have to go and do it. And then I got into university and studied there, and then I went into a job, and Max had started writing songs, and he'd send me just kind of verse, chorus. He'd send me about 2 minutes worth of songs, just because, I don't know why he just did. We grew up going, like I said to you at TwitchCon, we grew up going to punk gigs together. So our bond as brother and sister was almost always related to music.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask.
going to
Like,
gigs,
has there always been this
sharing songs?
like?
Well, I never really thought about it. I was just But when it all started happening, I suddenly thought, oh yeah, actually, we listen to so much music and we talk about music all the time.
Yeah. Were your parents musical
and-
in any way?
No,
Not
but
really.
they played a lot of music
Yeah.
to us growing up.
Yeah.
They definitely encouraged.
We heard lots of
Yeah.
cool bands.
So Max would send me these songs and say, oh, what do you think? And I don't know, I was just I didn't say they were crap. I just said, what about this melody, or what about this lyric and this? And then basically just started tweaking things with his songs, and then we wrote a song. I'd just broken up with a boyfriend, and Max said, "Oh, let's write a song about it." It was called "Don't Stop," and then but it was kind of always for him, and so I'd just be writing lyrics and melodies vaguely just together, and then we wrote this song called "Bricks," which was bizarre because it was the first time we'd ever written but kind of just sung harmonies, and we kind of built female vocal parts into it, and you couldn't sing it as a single person because it wouldn't have the same impact. And Max got really excited about it and basically said, "I gotta record this, we gotta record this." And I just thought, I'm not recording. It's terrifying going into a recording studio when you haven't sung for 8 years ever, even on mics, and everything sounds different, and it was such a just exploration of it. Was totally by accident, but I loved writing. It was frustrating, but it was because I didn't have the tools. So we'd be going through chords, and I'd just say to Max, "No, not that one."
Not
this one.
Well, it's good. It's good in songwriting actually, and it doesn't lead to any frustration at all.
On both sides.
Not that one.
But something like that, like what you played before. He's just going, what? So that's how the writing started, and after that, Max basically turned to me and just said, "Listen, so we started writing more songs together, as a duo. But he just said, I can't keep writing these songs unless you're going to join me in a band. So are you going to do that?" And I hated my job. I'd already left one job to go into another, and I was doing internships. And it was halfway through one of the internships that I'd worked on. It was a 6-month kind of interview process. I'd finally gotten into the 6-week kind of internship to do it. And halfway through, I just said, no.
Yeah.
Pulling myself out of this, I'm going to go do music.
Well, that's
because
I mean, for those people that don't know, great. And one of the things that, like I said, the first time I came into your channel, I noticed how well you sounded, but how a lot of people on Twitch, sometimes you feel like they get together just because of Twitch, right? They might start something, and it's cool to see that beginning, how they improve on Twitch. You guys came to Twitch doing this for years beforehand. And I could tell that. I'm like, these guys know what they're doing. Like, you guys were just in and out. Like you said, the harmonies, there wasn't, sometimes you watch people and they watch for harmonies, like they're like, okay, where are they going? Okay. You guys, I don't know if you guys even notice this, but it's so natural when you watch you two that you get this sense that you are rehearsed and you are comfortable with each other as a group. You sound like a group, not just two people trying to collaborate. And
that's cool.
I don't know. Cool. That's the first thing I noticed when I came in. I was like, these guys have to have been doing this a long time. This isn't like a, hey, let's get together and make a stream kind of thing. Like, I know that you guys have traveled a lot together and performed a ton of shows before you even came on Twitch. Can we talk about that a little bit? Like, when the band did develop and you started doing that, when did that kind of get in your heads to say, like, okay, let's go all in on this?
It was that turning point.
So I said to Esme, hey, guess what, my friend's getting married, we've got a song that I think we should play. It was it's called Molly, and I said
that wasn't
it
In the World.
We'd had this song that we'd written called In the World. And actually, technically, I think I'd written it. I convinced Esme to sing it.
No, I just did harmonies over it.
Okay.
We changed
but we sang in, didn't we sing in unison on it?
Don't think
in the recording? In the studio? Anyway, so
I love this. This is the best.
We basically... So you remember that song that we didn't write together?
You're just like, it was Molly. It's like, no, it wasn't.
I thought it was Molly. Okay, anyways, it was another suitable song. And I said to Esme, we've written this, so are you going to sing it? And she said, well, no, I'm not going to sing it. And I said, well then we can't
write anymore.
Then I'm not going to be in a band with you. And we're not going to write any more.
I'm going to give you an ultimatum.
We're not going to write any more music because even though this is super fun,
Yeah.
I don't want to be a solo artist. I want to write like songs, and I think we should go and perform together because I think people like it, and I think it sounds awesome.
And you thought it was good.
I thought it was
Bring yourself
awesome.
to say it.
When we were in New York, I basically was like, we have to record this song right now, and we didn't have like a donation goal or anything. I was just like, I'm gonna just spend every single penny that I have left in the world on recording this song because I believe in it 100%. And I just knew right there and then that it was the best thing that I'd ever been involved with. And I put my money where my mouth was and was like, going hot. I still have my banker mentality. I was like, balls on the line. I really believe in this. Come on, let's go.
No, it's good.
And Esme was like, I don't know. I was like, get in the
Wait,
let's go to the studio.
It was a massive turn.
Get you a sandwich. Esme was like, oh wait, a sandwich? Okay.
Is there food at the studio? I'm there.
Can we order food? And they had a phone, direct dial into the sandwich down.
You could leave me a trail and I'd go anywhere.
Yeah. So I call up and be like, hi, I need an Oreo sandwich for my sister because she needs coaxing to sing her main line.
An Oreo sandwich.
Just everything you have, put it in a sandwich. Let's get Esme straight.
It was scary though, if you're shy and you're not used to singing, and then you're faced with this ultimatum.
Yeah, but I thought you handled it really well.
Yeah, well,
so that was
at the wedding, no one thought I'd actually sing. Mum just turned to me afterwards. She said, "I never thought you'd do that."
Yeah, well, it was like TwitchCon, wasn't it? It was just like, there she goes. So anyway, I said to Esme, like,
that's awesome.
We need to go and learn how to play these instruments now that we've
really late to the game. I mean, you'd been playing guitar for ages, but
I played some guitar. We
really only just started writing songs. I'd never written a song before.
Yeah.
Don't Stop. So it was like Don't Stop, Bricks, and then Molly. Like ever. Hadn't done music for years. You hadn't done like focused music. It was always kind of, you know. And then you realise that if you really want to make this as a career, you've got to up your game.
Yeah.
Significantly.
So, yeah, we just were like, okay, we need to play as much as possible. How are we going to do that? Okay, we need gigs that are going to pay us so that we can do this as full-time. Like, we had separate jobs and tutoring and reception jobs, but how can we make sure that most of our time is spent on music? Okay, well, so we just booked in residencies in bars in London and then some in Europe that just, like, Switzerland pays musicians much better.
Yeah.
So we'd go, we'd do like
good.
a month of shows, make as much money as we could, come home, live off that, go and, you know, and do the same thing because it meant we could play music all the time.
Yeah.
Then, we spent it all on recording. But
we made the Muscles and Bones EP after the Bricks EP.
Oh yeah.
And
but yeah, and then our sound just developed from playing live shows. And so Max, we were doing just 2 vocals and guitar for a bit, and then we thought, okay, let's try and get some musicians, but they're expensive and they, you know, let you down because they're also playing other shows in Liverpool, and there was this show in Hyde Park that we'd gotten onto, and the bass player didn't turn up because he was on a train that was delayed. Like, not his fault, but it was delayed, and suddenly we didn't have a bassist, and Max just said, we need some low end in our music. Pick up the bass. You used to play cello. Screw it. Let's go. So we went to Denmark Street, got a bass. And then I did what I shouldn't have done, which I advise loads of people not to do, which is when you take up an instrument, do not play it for 8 hours a day and kind of go. I just went on overdrive.
Well, you kind of had
to learn it as quickly as possible. Yeah, but then I got tendonitis and I've had it ever since. And it means that just things are a bit more difficult, and there's always like an element of pain involved in anything you're doing.
But there is an element of balance, no matter what you're doing. Like, so if you took up archery tomorrow, let's say don't fire too many arrows, you know. Or if you're a pianist, like, you know, or a drummer, gosh, like you guys, you know the deal. Dan, if you're drumming for hours a day, or Doc, if you're sat at the piano, like it's when
you can't go from 0 to 100. You're just like, your body can't do it, no matter, you know, how fit or strong you are or whatever. And
this is how you deal
Max.
with it.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was only when we started playing with Tammy in the studio that we realized that you need a bar in your studio.
You need a bar in the studio.
You need to set up, like, you know, you need your vodka and your scotch, and beers and stuff.
So, guys, when I first found you on Twitch, you were in California. I think you were in the same loft that Dan's referring to. There was a grand piano in there, and I was really intrigued by the fact that you were there. And somehow I realized that you were there somewhat temporarily. It's not like you lived in California, like you had been there for 10 years. Like obviously you guys are from the UK.
That loft was also not ours.
Right. That was
if that
like,
place had been ours, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. But I was really intrigued and curious and never got a chance to really ask you. So what brought you to California? What sent you there to that specific place? Like what was your journey? Was it just like a specific trip with set dates, or were you there just to kind of do music for a while? What was that about?
It had been coming for a couple of years because everywhere in Europe we played, we'd meet Californians and they'd say, you need to go to California because of the sound and style of your music.
Mm.
And after like 10, 12, 15, 20 people giving us their cards and saying, call me when you come over, we just met these people at shows. And so we'd been, in the back of our heads, it been like mulling over the idea. And then we had a friend in a rock band in LA who was saying, if you come over, you can write and record some demos. And we basically went on one of these residencies, made a load of money, and we just thought, okay, should we just see what all the fuss about California is, like why people are telling us we should go there. We also, at that point, I just didn't feel like our style of music had a place in London, or I didn't feel like we were ready yet. I don't know. In hindsight, probably that. But
we basically went on a massive adventure.
Yeah.
I mean, to really,
that's awesome.
We had a mentality where we were both young enough to do it, both
and,
single.
Loved it as well. We loved it.
What?
We loved music, and we wanted to make it work. So we just thought we're going to do anything.
And music has been for us. It's funny. It's become this kind of gateway to just lots of adventures, and it's introduced us to people. Like, we wouldn't be here chatting with you guys if we hadn't done music. We get to meet awesome human beings who are amazing. Like, wow, the community we've stumbled across on Twitch is amazing. It's there is nothing, and people must be a bit bored of me on Facebook going on about Twitch on my Facebook page, but genuinely, I've never come across
your family members are like,
it.
shut up, Max.
Yeah, my friends are like, whatever. What is this Twitch thing?
No, I get my friends to come on.
Yeah.
They love it. They love it.
They do, and it's cool. And we get to, music opened the door for adventures, and I think that we both realized that.
And personal growth as well. I grew, my confidence grew, my happiness grew.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Well, let's Doc, were you going to say, when did you guys?
I was going to say it's really exciting to watch that. It's like getting to sort of live a little bit vicariously through someone else living that adventure. And when I remember when you guys went from that first location, you went to another location, and I was like, oh, they're in a different place now, and then that's, I think, when I got it. I sort of got it. It's like, I think they're just kind of like going to these different cool places, and making music, like writing songs and doing stuff. Where did Twitch enter that story? Did that happen after California, or after you got to California?
Yes.
It happened
in the last year of this being there.
So basically, we got to California, and what
happened?
We
stayed with a family.
We stayed with a family who we'd met on this ship, and they very kindly let us live with them, and they
are now our kind of second parents.
Yeah, they kind of adopted us to some extent, which we were very grateful for, and we met lots of families. We'd met lots of families up and down the coast in California, over in Chicago, in different parts of the country.
You guys are so inviting and open,
supportive,
and supportive.
There's a different mentality in the States where I think people say, I want to see this person make it. I want to be part of this person's journey. I want to be an integral part of helping them get to where they want to go to because they're passionate about it. And I I think it's that mentality that we loved, because in England it's not necessarily the same.
Having said that, though, since we've come back, though, we've met some amazing people who are doing the same thing. So I don't know whether we changed as people going out to California or whatever, but on our journey, so to say, we've just met people that have basically, I don't know what they've seen in us, but they, like Max said, they just want to help. And so things that seem totally impossible to us start to become possible, whether it be someone lending us their computers so we can Twitch with a big enough CPU, or having somewhere to live in California, or a car, or insurance, or just there's so many pieces to the puzzle of life as a musician. I mean, as you guys know, there's so much that you have to do.
One of the things that with you guys and musicians in general, that there is that moment, right? Like we all start playing our instrument and we're like, this is awesome, but I can't do this. Like, there's always this thing or someone telling you like, well, have fun with that, but that's not, you can't do anything with that. There's always like,
right.
Something, there's this voice in your head saying, this is not safe. This is not secure. It's all unknown. There's no road that you follow. There's no path that's clearly marked that you go, oh, okay, now I'm here, now I'm here. Like when you decide to go the route like that you guys did, or any professional musician does, you guys know, but it's like staring at like being in a completely dark room and walking, and you don't know what's in that room. Like it's the scariest thing. And it doesn't get better, like even to this day, like I'm sure you guys, like, you do so much and you get to these points and it's still scary. You still don't know what next week or next year is going to be like, but it's exciting. And like you said, it makes you happy. And, like you were at those jobs that you were like, oh my God, like, I don't want to do this, as scary and as crazy
as
it is.
Once you have those moments, you just can't. There's almost like there's no choice. Yeah. So you just know that that's what you've got to do, because the happiness I get from writing a song where it starts to come together and you just think, okay, I know my way in, okay, and it just flows out, and then that never changes when I play it to you or when we play it on Twitch. You get that feeling every single time, and it's kind of like a drug. It makes me feel better than anything else I could do with my life.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
I was telling my parents when I was last home, I'm like, I couldn't go into a normal job right now. Like I couldn't have a boss. Do you know? Like I couldn't go back and someone's like, well, yeah, we're gonna need you to do this. I'd be like, I don't know. Like I'd be so bad at that. Like right now, but it's. I don't know. I have a lot of respect for you guys, and that was the first time I was in your stream. I noticed all those things. I was just like, man, like I could tell like you guys have been, working for quite a while. But when did you discover Twitch? Who kind of like showed you guys?
Discovery was Thanksgiving 2016, and someone showed us ACS, and how to explain it? We would just play guitar for the people that we stayed with.
We used to rehearse in their garden.
We'd rehearse in their garden with all the dogs and stuff.
And street perform.
We'd go down to San Francisco Pier 39 and we'd take all of our CDs and we'd sell loads of CDs. And so we did this whole kind of learning how to perform in front of people thing. And then someone who was in the family said to us, you really should look at this platform, because
he was a gamer.
And he said, I watch these guys, they're legit. They make really great music. I love their original songs. And he showed us a couple streams, and then
he said they'd quit their jobs and were doing this full time.
Yeah,
which was really interesting.
Yeah,
and kind of making a living as musicians on Twitch. So I'd never really heard about it. But we followed his advice, and we thought we may as well give it a go, because street performing in the winter is not always that great because the weather's bad and it's hard to get all the shows and stuff. So we started on Twitch. By February of that year, we'd figured out a way of getting hold of a decent computer that someone let us use, and we have an interface. And I was already recording using Logic, so I knew how to hook that up, or I discovered it.
That was February last year.
That was February last year, and then we started playing, and we had maybe 3 or 4 people, and then suddenly we got raided, and suddenly we were playing to 100 or 300 people.
Do you remember who raided you, or like your first raid?
ACS, Chase, Loser Fruit. Our very first raid, I think, was wasn't that Chase?
I think it was Chase.
That guy.
I think Chase was where a lot of like our first followers.
Such
it was
a
Chase.
hooligan.
Yeah, Subby knows. He's awesome.
Oh, he's so cool.
He's such an inspirational.
He's so lovely too.
Guy, and another person I would have loved to have met at TwitchCon.
Sorry, Max.
But
we all missed you, man. We all missed you at TwitchCon. I really did. I was so stinking bummed that you couldn't make it, dude.
Yeah, well, I was just, I was pretty. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I'm gonna get there somehow. I'm gonna get to I'm gonna get to a TwitchCon.
I'd like to see you try this year.
We don't have a visa. No, it's fine. I'm gonna go to Canada.
You can.
I'm just gonna do
Max. I'll marry you,
and
then can we get that rolling?
Done.
I'll call the government.
100%. I'm down. I'm gonna do like the thing where you do the somersaults through across the land from Canada. I'm just gonna do like roly poly. Guys, I'm here. How's it going?
I'm in now.
So we'll see how that goes. But no, I do want to get. I want to get to TwitchCon, and I want to meet all of you guys and just hang in the flesh. Because I think it'd be awesome.
I'm just trying to think of stuff that happened when. Yeah, so our first raid was Chase.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of internet problems.
Oh
because
my god.
we were out in the countryside.
Oh.
So we weren't. And the internet wasn't
also
bad, but there were so many things that went wrong, and honestly, we just couldn't figure it out. And
I think part of it was my settings on the computer too.
Well, but what was so phenomenal about this was that everyone in our chat was trying to help us.
Yeah.
So rather than, because, you see the internet go down, you're like, oh my god, no one's going to stick around. Everyone's gone. We're mid-song, we connecting with people. And this is literally the worst thing. And people stayed and they tried to help. And I just remember going, that's amazing. I can't believe people are trying to help us stream.
Yeah,
this
and they're not
so
like, this is crap.
Unique.
You guys suck. Get a real internet connection.
Well, yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
Because that, honestly, when we started, I felt like my faith in humanity had come back.
Yeah.
Like, I know people talk about trolls, and I know they're trolls, and we get trolled. Our mods are amazing. So yeah. The troll patrol kicks them out, but that sense of kindness.
When you guys
to the Twitch community.
Yeah, when you first started streaming, was it like just a couple of test streams here and there, or did you, after watching a couple streams for a couple months, did you kind of game plan how you were going to do it and give it a decent?
We saw it in November, and then in January. We didn't really do anything in December.
There was no plan.
But in January, Max turned to me. He said, "I'm so high conviction on this. I know that we need to start twitching. I know it."
I was quite. We came back to London, and I said to my parents,
so funny.
I said, "I have quite a strong feeling about Twitch," and they said, "Okay." And I said, "I need to go and make this happen.
We need to figure it out.
I need to go and work out."
Well, and
I said, "But I'm not good with technology."
But we talked about to our gamer friend about all the computers they were using, and we just thought, we don't have this stuff, we can't buy this stuff, but we do have Logic, and we do have microphones, and we could even, we've got our PA system, maybe we could mic that up. There was just loads of different pieces of the puzzle.
And actually, when we first started twitching, we didn't have an interface that had enough slots on it, so we ended up I used the bass amp, so we'd mic the bass amp. We actually used a subwoofer, and we would use the room signal from the subwoofer for the bass and the kick, and
We argued a lot.
it was horrendous. But I was like, we'll just do what we do when we street perform. So it was just carnage. And it didn't really work, but it was a good start. I mean, there wasn't a plan as such. We just kind of did what we could. We went down to LA a lot, and we tried to find places where we could stream, where the internet connection was good enough.
We were recording down there, and so whilst we were in California, we kind of just moved so we could have a base with these people staying there. But we got paid shows down in San Diego. We'd go down there. We'd go to Paso Robles. We'd go up north to Tahoe. And then we were recording because we'd met this producer in LA. We were recording in LA, so we suddenly had to find stream solutions for all these different environments.
Whilst also not having anywhere to live.
I'm just thinking of this in my head going, oh my
rent.
gosh, that's crazy.
It was pretty stressful.
We couldn't afford rent, and basically every week or two, being back in London now, we're kind of settled-ish. I mean, we've got places to sleep, but still can't afford rent, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we can stay with people, but particularly when you're driving those distances to earn the money, to take that opportunity of recording, we didn't want to stop streaming, but we couldn't afford of our own ability to go to these places. So every week or two was working out where we're going to live, where we're going to sleep, how we're going to stream.
Yeah.
And it was just relentless because you're kind of, I guess, effectively troubadouring.
Oh, totally.
Which
100%.
on year 3 of being away,
Yeah.
I was so tired, and I remember there were days in LA, I just kind of come back to the flat and just burst into tears, and Matt would be like, are you crying?
What's wrong with you?
Why are you crying?
What's up?
I went, I don't know, I'm just really lonely.
Oh yeah, we
really
got super
sad.
We would
And
get
I'm just
really
like,
worn
why are we
out.
doing this? Like, we still aren't earning any money. We've discovered Twitch, but we've got to do these things, and everything seems such a struggle.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's great, and these people that we met were amazing. The fact that we just knew no matter what we could go and stay with them was incredible.
Huge,
but even with that, the rest of your life is totally up in the air.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Yeah, and we kind of
It's so
only
hard.
had each other. And I think, honestly, our relationship suffered because we were spending so much time together, but also time you're spending, you're just like incredibly frustrated and you're working really hard.
Yeah.
And it's hard to stay on a high because it's like up and down.
But we made, Twitch first became a priority just because it was so nice to see the same people. It was lonely when we were in the States. We'd live in places that, were quite remote. So
I wish
Tahoe
I'd
was amazing. It was beautiful.
known you guys more when you were
wish
here.
we'd known each other.
I know.
That would have been so
it was
fun.
And
crazy
Tammy,
because
we only met Tammy in July when we left.
Yeah, we met Tammy.
It's
well,
crazy.
yeah, we met Tammy and we met Megan a little bit before, just as we
Megan
were
came over to
moving
California.
to Tahoe. But yeah, we just constantly, it was like wherever we could stay and keep our stuff
And stream.
where we'd go.
Yeah.
So
Because Twitch definitely became a priority.
You guys
This
mentioned
is
like your
great.
parents and stuff like that, and like you guys are together a lot. When you decided to do all this together, were your parents like, oh God, they're gonna kill each other? Like, do they? I've always wondered that. Like, no.
no, they were really supportive. They said like
They were. I think there was an element of we sold the house and got a flat
Yeah.
because we thought you guys had jobs. And now both of our kids are musicians and we've got one spare room. So yeah, I think that was a bit of a shock. But no, they're so supportive. Still amazingly supportive.
yeah,
That's awesome.
even now.
And they get all the emotional stuff, and then they get, when we argue, they get being a mediation.
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff.
So I do want to talk about since Twitch entered the equation, and you have this really awesome community. It's really great, to go in and see like the Phoenix pop up, and in my chat people come in and I'm like, yes, it's the luck. Like, I love seeing your emotes all over.
Awesome.
the community definitely has gotten behind you guys in a really cool way. Like, I know you guys are recording and working on, a lot of releases and stuff. Like, has the way you approach recording and releasing stuff and performing changed since you really kind of got into Twitch more? Like, has it stayed
helps
the
us
same?
pick songs.
Yeah.
No, it totally. So before, I guess you kind of we personally would write songs and then we play them a lot. From street performing, we could gauge which ones like hook people in and stop people in the street. Yeah. What are the songs that keep people around? What are the songs that make people dance? And then, but you don't really know what your best songs are, or the most, not best, it's just most powerful, or what would work on a recording. But we kind of get that we get kind of what we were doing street performing on Twitch, because we can see if people are really the Rise and Shine was just kind of overwhelming, and we just thought, we've got to put that out. Isn't that why we recorded it?
That was the biggest, So basically,
you guys recorded that in LA, right? Or like re-recorded it?
We recorded it before we started, or we were midway recording it. We started Twitch, and then when we started Twitch, we said to our producer, "Listen, we've got to get this track out because we're playing it on Twitch, and it's our most requested." Subby is incredible and records all the songs that are played, how many times they've been played, what date they were introduced, so you can gauge what your most requested songs are, and Rise and Shine was right at the top.
Yeah.
So it definitely sways us in terms of which songs.
Yeah, and it has changed a bit. We write songs that are, definitely geared towards our community and how, the things that we've gone through, relating to other people too. And a lot of our the song kind of content, the lyrical content, is based on experiences that we've had since we've been on Twitch. And
like Leave Your Light On was, it's a song about people that support you.
Yeah.
And obviously there are people off of Twitch that do that too, but it was also so much about the support that 3 times a week you're playing your music to people, and they're really nice about it. And
speaking of that video,
and they want to help you as people.
That was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if people have got to see it yet, but they need to. It's on, I'm sure, your Twitter and all that.
Drew's edited the clips from our stream and put it to Leave Your Light On.
Oh yeah.
And it was so cool. We've actually just put out a selfie video as well.
Yeah.
Which actually Tammy edited that for us.
So
cool. It's so cool.
It's so neat to see, like, the track cat singing. I was like, I recognized like all those people. I was like, there's. It was like the coolest thing, but
it's so cool.
It's neat to see.
Yeah.
Original music, like you brought up a couple streams there, people that write songs and perform them on Twitch, like their own original music, but when it's received in a way like you guys get, like people get excited, people come there to hear your music, and that has to feel really cool, when you're like, well, what do you want us to play? Because I hear you guys do this a lot in stream, and it's just the sea of like your original music, people shout out, and that's got to feel good from a songwriter's, point of view, that people want to hear your stuff. And it's neat that your channel is the only place that they can get that from,
Yeah, it's kind of amazing. And I don't know much. It's funny. There hasn't been much of a plan about things. It's been very much a make it up as you go along thing. And I think it's been quite amazing to both Esme and I to be in a position where we feel like we've met really cool people who have kind of given us like a really big chance to be ourselves, and kind of have fun with with what we do. It's kind of amazing.
I just remembered a conversation one of the couples that we met they live in New York. Just before we started Twitch, said, you guys need to find a platform where you can, play your music and be you guys, because that needs to come across. I don't know if it's on Instagram or if it's on whatever it is. Like, that's what I want to see you guys do.
Mm-hmm.
Which is really sweet of her, because then she kind of liked hanging out with us. But that's basically what Twitch enabled us to do.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, your guys' interaction too as a brother and sister in between songs is like so. Like, I have a little sister, and if I were to stream with her, I'd just like constantly be like poking her or pushing her or like flicking her ear. Like, you get that sense,
right?
I'm so you have to do that. I'm sorry, Esme, but it's like
I'm such a.
That's like
now I have had the chance.
Brother's job.
I have had the chance to catch each of you at times when one or the other of you is not available and you do a stream by yourself. How does that describe that dynamic change from having someone to play off of? Like, how does that? Do you enjoy it?
Freedom. Oh, snap. Esme's
I struggle
going solo.
so much. Yeah, I'm like...
No, because there's no one telling me I'm out of tune. I'm out of tune, and I'm like, oh, man. But then I just kind of don't worry about it as much as when he's like...
I try to...
And the eyebrow goes up.
Basically, the deal is, it's like...
You're out of tune if you hadn't noticed.
This ever so slightly flat on the G. Ever so slightly flat on the G. Let's get it up there a little bit. It's one of the difficulties of, one, being a perfectionist, two... wanting every single thing that we do to be the biggest, like, the best thing we can do for people out there.
Yeah.
Being a big brother definitely compounds it, because we couldn't talk to each other the way that we do if we weren't brother and sister.
But actually, you know what, that's often the thing that makes it improve much faster. Mm-hmm. So Max has always, like, made us hone things far more than if we'd been solo artists. And so... you find that we're not rehearsing at the moment because we've been so busy, and streaming is quite tiring, and we know we need to do it.
Yeah, we need to
and
rehearse.
when we do, it's like, really...
It's not the kind of thing that we would stream.
We would not stream rehearsal, but it means that, because you can say, like, you are out of tune. I'm not going to try and be nice about it, although it does help when you say, it sounds really good, just a bit on that note, and I go, okay, whereas if he's just like,
fortunately we've both kind of improved raised our game quite a bit over the last 7 years since we've started music.
Oh my god, the rehearsals when we started were so bad.
Oh, they were carnage.
No one should ever see any of that.
Yeah.
Is there any footage or anything? Did you guys have old shows?
But there's one of the people we stayed with in California said she heard us say, because we were in their garden, and there's a certain point in rehearsal where you don't really think that anyone's listening to you. Yeah. So
if you think you're alone.
If you think you're alone.
And
so
it's just dogs around.
I think Max had said something to me about, oh God, just pick it up, come on, I can't remember what you'd said, but you said something that really annoyed me, and this woman said to us, I just heard Esme go, well done, Max, you made a shit song sound worse. So it's just so mean.
Oh, it's
basically carnage. Insulting both of us, both of our writing skills, and Max.
And we used to rehearse outdoors in the sun in California, so...
But then afterwards, you'd always be like, I'm really sorry about that. It's sounding really good. It's so great. We did that 3 hours, We
raised our game so much. I'm so proud of you, how far you've come. Because, guys, you've got to bear in mind, we started from zero.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Esme, play the bass. And she said, well, what's... And so we had to go through with concepts of root notes or... playing in time to metronomes, because
playing out of time,
because I'd done the whole recording thing and recorded my I'd released music that I'd done on my own, so I knew about recording to click tracks and recording guitars and singing along to it and arranging it, and the importance of timing and all these kind of things and tuning, because when you're singing live, when you're performing, you don't want to be auto-tuning that. You want to give the best performance you can, and people's ears pick out instantly if something's not quite right. You
What I
know,
love about the vibe of your stream that I think a lot of, especially new music streamers, could try to learn from, and this is one of the things I really love about Dan and Stephanie both too, is that it doesn't seem like you are in this pressured, stressed out rush to get to the next thing through the stream, because you got to do all the things on the list and you got to do the stream. You guys are relaxed enough. I've even seen you on more than one occasion. If you do a song and maybe you didn't hit the bridge just like you wanted to, I've even seen you say, let's just do it again. Let's try this. Let's just do the song again. You know, there's just like this really relaxed vibe about how you guys approach what seems to be your approach to the stream anyway, which is, this is who we are. We're going to enjoy the music. We're going to do requests as we can for you. But man, we're not here to like jump the hurdles real quick and get through the hoops.
Yeah.
That comes across as an inviting. Yeah. It creates an inviting atmosphere though, to come hang out with you.
I like the fact that you said that, because that's cool. You guys are saying so many things that I hadn't considered, and you know what? When you're on the inside, it's so hard to see things from the outside, and it's one of the things that I'm trying to be aware of. It's. I think what we wanted to do when we started streaming was just be ourselves and create a place where people could come, hang out, say hi to anyone that they might know or are meeting for the first time, and bring people together, because I think that's
we've done.
Yeah, I think that's just what we've done for the last
5 years.
And we had this really funny moment after Ventura Nights where we were sat at a table.
That's the night we have a residency in London that we put on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we had a table of all of our different worlds colliding, because we had our parents at the same table as our people from Twitch.
Subby
and
Okay.
Dizzy and Kozu.
And
then we also had the people that we'd lived in California where we'd started performing on Twitch.
they were here.
Nice.
And then we had our producer.
wow.
And then we had our producer, our producer and investor from LA, at the same table, and it was just mind-blowing. It was all the different worlds coming together at the same time, and Esme and I was sat like right in the middle of the table,
Just looking at each other going,
and just thinking, wow. I mean, it was really great.
That is really cool.
That and it kind of embodies what Max was saying about the stream. I mean, so when we stop and start those songs, I think it's showing people that it's real. You know, we're not, like you say, just jumping onto the next song, but also we don't get it right every time. And it's an element of music where you want to get it right all the time. I kind of wish we perfectly sang everything.
Yeah.
But I guess you only ever see, you know, Adele doing her thing on TV, that she's probably got an album of songs, so 10 songs. They go into rehearsal for months and months and months. Does one song. That's what you see. She's obviously amazing, but you don't see the rehearsal. You don't see her start again. Actually, you do, because that's what she did. And I think it really brought people into that Grammys performance. It was like, okay, she's actually just going to start again. And it was fine to do that, because she wanted to give it her best shot so that people in that room felt, and you know, millions of people around the world could feel what she was feeling. And if you can't hear yourself properly or whatever it was that went on, it was a cool moment to do. And I guess that's maybe what Twitch has the power of doing as well, is showing that other side of musicians, that it's heartfelt but it's not always perfect.
Well, it's kind of funny you bring up Adele too. Like, I love her music, but I think I was sold on Adele like when I saw like behind the scenes with her, of her just laughing and being like crazy, and just like when she laughs, you're like, what? Like, is that
it's
Adele?
Infectious.
She's like this. Yeah, she's so a very fun person to be around. And yeah, she is human, you know, but she does put on, you know, she puts on a show. She does her thing, and you're like, oh yeah, that was really good. But I also love her when she's not perfect. And I think, that's a cool, I never thought of that. That's interesting. But a lot of us
I'd love
do
to
get to have that side of us shown, you know, where we're not perfect all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to get your input, Max and Esme, on something that we've been discussing a little bit behind the scenes, and it's come out a little bit in our podcast as well, with regards to Twitch in general, with regards to discoverability and categories and things like that. Like, you guys have probably noticed that there are several music performers that choose to stream under the IRL category because there's more viewers there. Some of us are strictly in music. I've noticed, at least the majority of the time, I think I've seen that you guys are in the music category. But there's some discussion even in the music Discord back and forth. Some people are asking, well, what should I do? Why should I do that? Or why shouldn't I do that? And I'm just curious if you guys have thought about it at all. And if so, what your thoughts are.
Well, we usually stream in music, right?
I hope so.
I
Do
think
you know
when
what?
we stream our shows, we stream
I
venue
hope
nights.
so.
We try and stream as much. We try and stream as much of our
I think
live
creative-
shows. We put that in IRL when we're doing.
When we
venture
do
nights.
live shows, I don't know if we do it as music, if it's all music, or if we do it IRL because it's technically kind of in a venue and it's in real life. I think if we're walking down the street and we're doing tours of London, we would call it IRL. If
Yeah.
we
Pretty sure
were
everything
doing,
else is
I
in
kind of
music.
just want to be in the music category, but of interest, I discovered Reddit the other day properly, as in I signed us up for an account, and what?
Thanks.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
Teamwork.
High five. Okay. I
Reddit.
was so tempted there to be like,
Yeah, because you haven't done that on stream before.
just once. Because I couldn't do it again, I have to leave a certain amount of time before. So anyway, apparently there used to be, it wasn't always set up that way. It was just music and that was it. But apparently
on
now
Reddit or Twitch.
on Twitch there was a discussion about it on Reddit that apparently was it last summer or last April or May time,
Yeah,
and
it
they
was
set up all these different
earlier
and
last
everyone's
year.
numbers just.
Wait, hang on, I don't understand.
So they basically set up multiple categories where it then got, people were finding that they were getting a lot less viewers on their.
Because you could
Yeah,
suddenly
on their
stream to
streams.
IRL, and that would mean that
No, just there were more categories to choose from. Is that right?
It used to
Have I
be
got that
Well,
creative,
at one point,
and then the hashtag system. I don't know if you guys remember that.
yeah.
You guys probably did
Got
the
it.
hashtag when you started.
Yeah.
You know,
Music
Music
used to fall
most
under
was the
creative,
category,
but even within music, there was music production. There was like you could, or under, under creative, there was like music production, all these different things, like different little categories that you could find, and it all rested under creative for quite a while, and then they did it with the
Split it
hashtag
out.
system, like Dan just said. But then they changed that, and where like music is its own thing. The hashtag no longer connects you to music if you're under creative, and so it went and it split everything out. So it made it more difficult, and you kind of had to choose: am I going to be under creative? Am I going to be under music? And then when IRL became a thing, people noticed, oh well, IRL has 60,000 viewers right now, or 40,000 viewers, or however many thousand viewers. So I'm going to
So
go
you're
stream
tempted
under
to go
that
to that,
category.
yeah, exactly.
So
I
What do
don't
you
know,
guys
like-
stick to?
I've never.
music.
I always am in music. The other day when I was packing up my stream, I did IRL. I think that was like the first time ever, maybe second. But we've been talking about it, and I joked last night like I was gonna go to bed early, and I'm like I was just thinking about it. I'm like like not so much like the issue of it, but I just want to improve on it, and maybe have just discussions in the future about what to do, or because we are this music community. There's some amazing people, but like I was thinking of it like we're kind of like a bunch of Lego pieces that are just like, when you get a Lego set and you just kind of dump them all
Spread
out?
Yeah.
Like we're not built together. We're not like super strong. We're just kind of like all over the place. And we know we're a music community, like we all know each other. Like Steph did a talk show yesterday, and everyone that they were talking about or showing clips of in the music, Steph's like, oh, that's Jason. Yeah, he plays violin. And oh yeah, that's this. And everyone's like, oh, all these people. Steph's like, yeah, we all know each other, Like our community is very tight knit, and we very supportive. The viewer all our viewers know everybody too. It's not like, a lot of the people in chat have never seen us before, like we're all, shout outs and check this person out. We're always, I don't know. It's a very big community. And that got me thinking like last night, because, we were talking about it yesterday a little bit. And if we could figure out a way to show us collectively how big we are, because when we are spread out over all these different places, sometimes I do get that feeling, I'll browse. And if I look at my following list, if I go browse in music, there's only a few, but in my following list, there's some really big music streamers that I'm like, oh, if they were all there, and we're telling people to check out Twitch Music and stuff, and they go to Twitch Music, and maybe they do just see, like the DJ streams and stuff. But I think if we could figure out, like, I don't know,
how to collectively go to one place.
And I get it. I get it.
To me, there's just a difference between what I can do and what I should do. And right now, Twitch isn't putting a hard stake in the ground. They've said if what you're doing can't fit into a specific category, use IRL. Like if it's just general, like walking around, like if you're just doing stuff, do that in IRL. Okay. However, if it can be categorized by a specific game or category that we have, that's where we prefer you to be. Now they've said that, but they haven't put a hard stake in the ground. So you can stream music in IRL without getting, banned or something crazy like that. But should you? And it's to me, for me, this is my personal opinion on it. It looks like somebody chasing a big old boat that's fishing and trying to catch all the fish that slip out of that giant boat with the big net, instead of going and building your own freaking boat. You know what I'm saying? Like, be who you are.
Yeah.
Be every bit of who you are and build something that's quality, not just quantity in the beginning. Because if you focus on quality now, you won't just have quantity later. You'll have quantity later. You'll have great quantity later that will benefit not only you, but everybody else. That's my take.
I think that's
very wise words.
That's probably, I mean, I guess we'll just stream in the music category then from here on.
I'm sold.
I think you guys.
I wasn't trying to preach it.
You guys. Let's go build a boat. I want to build a boat.
Yeah, I want to build a boat.
You guys are on it. I'm there.
I want to build the boat.
No one would want to get in the boat that I build. Like, it would go maybe 5 feet. But it's like,
I think it'd be very legit.
I think it would go further than that. That's
because
let's all get in the boat, guys.
There are companies like you guys got sponsored with Rode, and like tonight, Sam and Megan and Raquel are performing down in Hollywood. It's going to be Twitch front page. Rode. It's sponsored by Rode microphones. There's companies that are looking, at like what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's exciting. And when we tell companies or certain people to say like, hey, check out Twitch Music, they're not going to find you. The average viewer doesn't go, oh, I bet all the musicians are in IRL. Like, I wouldn't think that if I was, first, if we want kind of like new people to discover it and people to take notice of it, I really think like if Twitch won't enforce it or just kind of tell us, hey, you should be here. If you're performing with an instrument, your voice, or doing anything musical production wise, creating music, like just go in music. I know it's just a general term, music, but if you are performing, I think if we were all there and if someone does come in, those are the people we want that are typing in, hey, where can I find music? Where can I find performers? They need to know that we're going to be there and not
That's
just, somewhere else.
Yeah.
So
agreed. Yeah, 100%. I think that makes a lot of sense.
The discoverability is such an amazing thing about Twitch, which for me puts it over somewhere like YouTube. Like, you guys could be live streaming to YouTube if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
We could do it on Instagram, we can do it on Facebook, but we want to be on Twitch because, one, I'd say the community building and being part of things and forming relationships with people is unrivaled, and it's amazing. We both went into our Discord channel, we're on voice chat.
I loved it,
and it was amazing. We love our
it's
community.
so fun,
and that wouldn't have happened without Twitch and the chat room and the way it's built. But also the discoverability where you can play your music and people will find it, whereas I feel on YouTube and Facebook, I don't know how it works, but it feels much more of a struggle.
They're making
specific.
changes really quick to kind of model what Twitch does, because there isn't anything like it. You know, everyone knows what it is, but they're trying to get their own formula for it. But I do want to say to chat, and I kind of want to spread the word, on June 22nd. I think that's the date. It's Friday. So next week, we're not going to do a podcast. I'm going to be driving around with my dad somewhere in Kansas. But that a few weeks after that, I do want to have an invitation to people of the music community, not just streamers. I want like our mods. I want our viewers that are in our chats, are watching us, are that they actually care, you know, because we can easily talk about it from our perspective, right? Well, how is it going to benefit my channel? What does it mean for me as a broadcaster where I go, and discoverability? But I'm really curious about what you guys think. So I want to have an invitation for June 22nd. We're going to do kind of a special episode where if you would like to come on the show and talk and kind of give some feedback of how you feel about like discoverability, or have any suggestions or anything, I would love to get a perspective from you guys as the community, because we are a streaming community of music streamers, but you guys are the real community, the viewers and our mods, all the people that help us. Like we would just be singing in our rooms or playing for, you know, the walls if it wasn't for you guys. So like your guys' opinions really do matter. And I just want to get as much feedback, because we are getting a lot of feedback from different music streamers, and it is great, right? Like we all have different opinions about it, and some of us might not even be thinking about it yet. But from a community's perspective, you know, people who like, there's people in this chat that I've seen in Doc's stream, in the Luck stream, in my stream, in Vargon's stream, and like everybody's, you know, they're everywhere. They pop up. I hop in a stream and I'm like, hey guys. And then the same people that I saw 4 hours ago in this other stream are there. And I'm like, hi again. Like, I know you guys
Music
care.
lovers.
Yeah. And I know this community means a lot to you guys. So you want to see it do good too. And I know we all want it to grow. And I think right now it's not going to, with all of us in all these different places. We need to collectively get together to show certain, you know, Twitch that we are bigger than some of these AAA title games on any given day, you know? Like we can bring in collectively a healthy number of people and viewership. So I don't know. June 22nd, write it down. Can't, you know,
June 22nd.
Quit your jobs so
We're
you can
gonna
be here.
there. I'm gonna put that in my diary.
So it'll
be like
like
an open conversation.
it'll be like this.
Yeah, like
We'll pull different people in for a minute or two.
Yeah.
You know, have people in waiting, kind of like a call-in talk show.
Yeah.
That's
And
This is how we're planning on doing it.
Just because
So
I really am curious, because it's something that I didn't think about at all. You know, when IRL came up and all this started, I was like, I'm just going to do music. I'm playing, you know, drums. My IRL is pretty boring. Like I eat cereal and watch, you know, drum videos and yell at my kids. Like my in real life is not exciting. So I've never really thought about it, but I see the appeal of it and I totally understand. But like last night, in the past couple of weeks, you know, it's really been on my mind, and I know Steph has been really thinking about it too. And like we do want to have these discussions about like just what can we do to streamline it, I guess. I don't know.
To streamline it, and then also to, I think I feel like there's such a great offering of like, not only music, but in general within those musical channels, entertainment.
And
and community.
I think it's about kind of figuring out how to get Twitch to kind of share that more.
Yeah.
I don't know. If I was running the company.
What would CEO Max do?
I mean, I don't know.
Do you have a cat? You're getting like this, like you need like a cat to be like, well, if I was...
Well, Yeah. I don't know. I think.
No, go ahead, Matt.
I think we need more mute. I think no, not at all. I think you're right. We need music streamers to be in one place, and it's almost as if it would be great if there was a timetable where each individual streamers could specifically say like, oh, I'm going to host at this point, and then we're going to host this person, and then this person. You know how it's organized, like when there are charity streams.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if something like that could happen like once a month to help.
And we can all kind of
strengthen the community and stuff.
Yeah,
like
in
that's a good idea.
That is actually a really good idea.
Well, yeah, I was thinking about having a cat.
There's something in there.
I was thinking about having a cat, and then
No, that's actually a really good idea, and a lot of people do that as it is, But yeah, like a more organized, like just say, hey, you like my community. I love this community. You should check them out because
exactly.
Travis,
like get some really. Go on, sorry.
I was gonna say when Travis from a couple streams was on here, he made a point that I never thought of. As music streamers, Esme, you were talking. Like 3 hours is a long time to play and perform, right? Like we can't do 8-hour streams all the time. Some of us do, or longer ones occasionally, but the thought of performing 8 hours a day, 3 to 4 to 5 days a week, no. Like it's just you would just your brain would melt. And he brought up a really cool point. It's like the music community. That's why it works is because if you can't watch us, he said, they say, watch this person. Having people watch other music streamers, it helps all of us. It keeps that engagement. It keeps the viewers entertained. And yeah, if we could do more sharing of community somehow, or if there was like I don't know. Yeah.
We feel since we moved back to London, particularly because of time zones and stuff. We feel a bit.
Yeah, we feel a bit like far away from everybody. It's been really tough actually for us because playing at sort of 8 p.m. in Europe doesn't really work for like the West Coast at midday. Most people, I think, a lot of people have jobs and stuff, so it's really tough for us to
reach people.
Ideally, where we were in California, it was kind of the best because we would be able to perform at night to California, but then it would also reach loads of people in America. And America's it's a huge market of people who can tune in and stuff. And a lot. We feel very lucky that we've still managed to reach people, but I think it's tough for discoverability. It sucks. There's no way that we could expect to hope for raids at our time from people like ACS or like the 8-Bit Drummer. But I think what would be super cool is if we organized something where every single person rallied their community and got as many of their community to rock up to like a big event. Effectively, maybe think of it as
like an online event,
an online festival, and maybe set it up.
Oh, an online festival! I like that.
Yeah,
like
I do like that.
Juices are flowing.
And call it like the Twitch Music Festival, and somehow see if we could either do it over a few days, so that like maybe a 3-day kind of weekend kind of thing, and on the first night you have like 4 acts, and everyone plays for half an hour or their best songs, and then you could get Twitch to front page it. So the music community would go to Twitch and say, we're going to have 20,000 people tuning in from all of our different communities, hopefully. Let's just hope that bigger. And then just get every single person to raid each other afterwards.
A weekend or something.
And rally the community to do something powerful. Not only that people could get involved, help each other out, the music streamers, it would strengthen ties between the performers, and it would hopefully bring everyone together. So perhaps something like that might work.
Man, and when I move, I'm hiring a choir for every podcast episode. I just want like a choir behind me right now to be like, oh yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
That's sort of Max. What you're
idea.
describing. What you're describing is similar to. It's not exactly the detail you're giving. I think would be incredible, especially if it went from channel to channel. But what you're describing is real similar to what this channel that we're on, Saving Music Live, just did. Even through May, every Monday, it was like 15 hours, and it was all different streamers showing up on one channel for charity. and then we actually did get some front page time from Twitch for Saving Music Live. Anything we can do like that, any creative efforts we can do, I completely agree.
Well, I think the retreat
would be huge
that we did, because we got like 3.
That looked amazing.
There was like 16
We had 4
hours.
front page. It was 25 hours of streaming.
That was huge.
Over 4 days.
Even for my community, there's still people that are in my chat regularly.
All of those were front page as well.
From that event. Like I thought that was really cool. Twitch, that they did that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody just mentioned in chat though, get the feeling that Raj Patel recently discovered music. He's loving it too much now. He's doing those talent shows. I don't know how much good, this is just my opinion on it. I don't know how much good that does for the music community. And I don't think he is set out to help the music community with that. To be real honest with you, I think he's doing that for his own channel. And he is telling all of the performers to switch to IRL, which doesn't help the music community at all.
Wait, what's he doing? Is this, I think Tanny went on a
talent
stream.
show. Yeah.
She didn't do a talent show. I think it was a chat. So wait, so he's organizing a talent show on his channel? On his channel,
yeah. With a lot of viewers. There's a lot of viewers. I think that's
of it
probably
like you guys have like Britain's Got Talent and America's Got Talent.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like that.
So he does that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's
people perform and the judges are pretty toxic. They're clowns, in my opinion. I don't care how big of channels they have in their own rights. None of them are creative music streamers, and they rip people apart.
Is it a bit of a hostile environment?
I think it is. What I've seen of it is
Is it kind
disgusting.
of like Simon Cowell?
I think the thing is, okay, so
I think Simon, yes, people do think he's mean, but he's honest. You know, if I was like you said, that producer, when you showed him your songs and he was like, "That's terrible, man," like. He doesn't sugarcoat it, and maybe some of it is overboard for entertainment. But genuinely, when I watch those shows, I'm like, "Yeah, he's right. That sucked." I think it's how you go about it. But I get the sense from it that it's purely for entertainment purposes, and it's not really like a talent show.
Right.
There's no.
Okay, I understand.
From what you're saying, it doesn't sound like it necessarily 100% fits with what our vision of why we love Twitch.
Yeah.
Why we love love Twitch because of a really awesome community of people, and we wanted to create a place that was where people could come and just hang out and kind of be nice to each other. I mean, there's enough. There's so much stuff in the world that I don't really want to have to deal with all the time, and we wanted to create a space where people can come and they can relax and be themselves, and there isn't judgment, there isn't like people being mean to each other and making each other feel small or not good enough. It's a place where people come to bring something positive to the table, and I think there's a lot of reasons why I would want to keep that focus as our focus on doing Twitch.
Well, and it totally embodies why we're musicians and why we want to continue doing music and the content of our songs. It's about hope. Yeah. It's about belief. It's about your journey yourself or with other people, experiences, and it's a really important part of who we are as artists, but also what we've found on Twitch and why we love streaming on this platform to this community. And our Discord is like a 24-hour place for that, and we love it because it's a safe place, and it's a place for us to be ourselves as well.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from or what and I think that's what we wanted to. No matter what we did on Twitch, that's what we wanted to kind of keep the focus.
And I think like you said, no judgment. Some of us have been doing this for a long time. Some of us have just started playing an instrument and they're streaming. And judgment, there's no place for that in our community. Like everybody is very supportive, and I do think that shows like that do degrade. I can't talk. It's early.
It's early for you, dude. Yeah.
Dude, it's super early.
They do. It does tear down kind of what we've built up a little bit, as far as the way that we view ourselves as a community and be encouraging. I think I can't watch it. When I watch my friends go on there and I hear the reactions and I see chat, I'm just like, I can't do it personally. Like I view a lot of you guys like brothers and sisters and family members, and I become that that protective big brother kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you say that
like
when you don't even know
trolls.
anything? Yeah. So I see it as a purely entertainment purposed thing, not for our community at all. But again, my opinion, and if it does get you some viewers and some followers, that's awesome, and it'll help you out. But I think as a community, I don't think it helps us.
I usually filter myself a little bit more, but it's got me so frustrated. I'd go so far to say, congratulations, you've just proven you're willing to go do anything to get some viewers and followers, and that's just,
I think, I mean, look,
low
it comes
to
into
me.
the
It's
same,
just like, good for you.
I understand.
It's each to their own, but
I just wonder how many people, if that's the mentality of the channel, maybe people wouldn't necessarily get what we do. I know, at least I'm trying to think, every musician appeals to a different kind of set of fans, or people will there'll be certain things about the musician or the music they make or the way that they sing or the instruments they're playing that they'll like. I met someone the other day who just doesn't like vocals and guitar, so they're never gonna get what we do. But I wouldn't try and convince them to love it.
A thick skin, right? As an artist, whether it's Tony saying what he said, or every time you get up and people don't respond, or when you have trolls on Twitch, everyone will say, "Oh, don't let it affect you." But if you see something, it's not something you want to read, and you've got enough self-doubt going on in here anyway, because you've put in the effort to rehearse, which means that you in yourself are trying to self-improve constantly, whether it's as a writer, a singer, a guitarist, a drummer, keys player, anything. That's what drives you to rehearse, because you want to get better. So then to have it in your face it's hard.
Oh yeah.
And you can deal with it in real life environments. You go, okay, that show didn't go well because X amount of this, whatever. But to have things written to you is difficult. So
I'm all about
that. I would find that really hard to go on.
I'm all about like the concept of it. But if you're judging somebody and if someone's performing or something, you at least should know what you're talking about when you're judging somebody. And to me, like, none of those people have probably ever played an instrument or done anything. So, if they're just saying, well, that was boring or that wasn't entertaining, that's not like, I don't like hearing that.
Well,
so if Twitch did like an official Twitch has talent and they brought on a panel of like actual musicians that could constructively,
I'd even be scared to do that.
I'd be scared to do that.
I'd be real scared.
Yeah, but
like,
I would much more respect the opinions of someone who's done music for years and said, hey, I love what you're doing, but just like Max got that feedback in the beginning, but that pushes you. That pushes me. I remember I would do gigs and people would be like, dude, that was really good, but man, you rushed that like crazy, or you need to play louder, you need to play softer. In the beginning, you're like, oh man. But you can either take that and just hide, or you can take that feedback when it's constructive and good and use that to make yourself better. But feedback that's just like, it doesn't help anybody in the long run.
And like you say, I think, Dan, you made the point on I think it was ACS was saying, Travis was saying he used to play shows where, the bookers would book a heavy metal band and then a classical act, and so your audience was so varied, and that half those people are not going to get that, and then So you ideally want to play to an audience who are going to get it, but you don't want to get so disheartened from people that aren't. And it's about finding your audience. That's what labels have always said to us. So anyone that's had like advice to us as musicians, we're like, do your thing, but try and find your audience. Don't play shows that are not going to be good for you.
Yeah, it's like field process. I was just saying.
Yeah, don't play shows that are going to dishearten. Like even we have a guy who books us shows IRL in the UK, and he was saying, I don't want to book you on that. I don't want to put you on a tour. Let's cut down your autumn tour dates to 8 instead of 16 because I don't want you guys to go to these places, travel there, and then play empty rooms. Let's do this really effectively because, I don't want you to deal with being demoralized and tired and everything else. And it's like, oh yeah, actually, let's try and not do that.
Yeah.
You've got enough of it. Yeah.
That is it. Field Processor, which by the way, if you guys aren't following Field Processor, they are
they're in chat.
Amazing.
Let's go.
They're going to be on the podcast in a couple of weeks too. Yeah. So go follow Field Processor. But they just made a great point, and I'm going to rephrase it just a little bit, or clarify with my own words. But I would rather, and I think most musicians would get greater enjoyment out of performing for 12 highly interactive people that love what you do than perform for a deafening, silent 1,000 people, and there be even 50 people in that 1,000 that love what you do. When there's a huge crowd, but a small percentage of them are really there for you and they're about you, it's like what a dead room. And you'll hear musicians and artists say, wow, what a tough room, what a dead room.
Oh, yeah.
When there's not the majority of the room that's with you. You could play a coffee house with a dozen people who love what you're doing, and it's like, man, that was great.
Yeah.
That was the best because everybody was into what you were doing.
Yeah, I've been the opening act for years. A lot of bands, we'll go out on tour, and I play for 1,000 people. When they're just getting to the venue, and they just they just stand there. They're just like looking at okay, how many songs are they gonna do? Okay, and they might clap. And some, there's always that energetic few in the front that are like, they're already drunk, they got there early.
Yeah.
And I do get that sense of, the other thing is like promoters, people do see what we do as opportunity. I hate to say it, but we are talented. There's a lot of really talented people on Twitch, and people are going to want to capitalize on your talent. And you got to look at that. Like you guys, I'm sure, have done gigs where you've played hours and you got nothing, but someone else got something, maybe a promoter or a booking agent. And I don't know, but I used to do that daily here in Hollywood. I'd play night after night after night after night after night. At the end of the week, I'd have like $100. And I know that promoter walked away with like 10 grand, So you got to think, is someone using you to get somewhere, but there's this illusion that they're helping you. And every promoter that I've always said, like, oh man, you're going to play at the Whiskey tonight. You're going to see, there's going to be a huge crowd. You're going to open for so-and-so. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, great. And they're like, all right, you just got to give me this and we'll figure out tickets and you got to bring 100 people. There's always this catch, where you have to kind of go through that, I think, to realize when you're being not taken advantage of, but being used for not the purpose that you think it is. And that's kind of how I view situations like this.
That's why we did Ventura Nights, and I guess that's why Raquel and Megan and Sam are doing the night tonight in Hollywood. That's why, it's just a shame that we're separated by so many miles and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah, boo for the world being big.
It's actually, it was super fun when we were in, well, it's just that we're not there. When we were in LA, we managed to do a collaboration stream with Jason.
And Trevor.
And we had our friend Beardy come and play keys. It was so much fun. And actually, musical collaboration is one of the funnest things that exists, at least, for me. I think that it's like going to a really great film, but better.
Yeah.
Because
if we do another music retreat, we have to have you guys there. Like, we won't do one without having you guys there.
And we'll get to
we
that.
can't we
Would it
can't
be
get
in
to
Europe?
America yet. We're really hope that by next year we can get visas again. We just got to see. But if you guys ever come to Europe, you have to tell us.
Yeah,
for
if
sure.
you come to Europe, we could put something in the diary where like we would actually sort of block out the time to go. It's been a bit crazy at the moment, but I think once we've kind of got a handle on things and we're kind of, you know, at that point where things aren't just constantly overwhelming and we're not trying to do like all the, you know, recording ourselves and stuff like this, then it would be just great. It would be super cool.
I do want to open it up to chat though. So guys, if just really quick, I know you guys have somewhere to be later, but if you have a question for the Luck,
It's not for ages.
or any of us,
Okay. We can chill.
Yeah,
But-
we can chill.
I might get some nuts. Can I? Just
if you
get
guys,
Go
yeah,
nuts.
if you guys want to at Saving Music Live, if you have a question, please at Saving Music Live so we for sure see it.
And give me just a moment. You guys go ahead, but I've got to step away for just a moment.
We got the Doc Bizzle, care some shizzle. We got stuff to do.
I could do some.
But
I could do
for
some,
real, if you guys have any
yeah,
questions or
just
any
do it.
input on
Hulu.
stuff we've been talking about, we'd love to hear it. Just wanted to say,
Granola.
the Luck, I missed you guys. Granola, Bobby.
Granola Bobby, how's it going?
Subtract the cat. It's early for you too, dude. It's
You
like
guys are
9
settling
o'clock.
How did that happen?
We got a mouse.
Thank you guys for
Oh, I
hanging out
wonder.
though, for real. I know.
Do we have a
you
mouse?
know-
Surely it would have eaten the whole thing.
Are those nuts? Or
Guys.
Oh, I see Doritos.
I really hope we don't have a mouse.
I got hula hoops here, and then
Hey, where did
Have the
Doctor?
people take a break. Sorry. So you guys have stuff coming out though, like over the next, like I thought you guys were gonna release it as like a big album, so but you're kind of releasing it in chunks.
With-
So did we.
we did too. There was a bit of a change of plan when we came to the UK, and our producer basically. Long story short, we are going to be releasing some
Songs once a month.
songs once.
Oh
Oh,
god.
wow! What a re-entrance! That's amazing.
Mate, look, there's a whole.
Elton John, everybody.
I'm really, guys. I think we've got a mouse. Mouse.
You-
Can you
Oh,
see
for
the
real? Oh, yeah.
Bad. I'm not eating those.
Aw, Pint, you're awesome.
Can you put those over?
Input.
Nate, we've definitely.
If
got a
you're a
mouse.
streamer and stream Fortnite, please remember to change your community for music. Oh.
It's really worrying.
Yeah.
Wait, who just said that?
Caster. Very true. Are there, MacArthur, what's up, man? MacArthur Lloyd, are there any other family members that play with you, or are you the only musical ones in your family?
We are the only people, I think.
We don't play with anyone else. If we had another sibling, they'd be on the drums.
Yeah. Yeah. Or
Forced to
on
play
the
drums.
keys full time. Or we'd all swap instruments. No, it's just us. Just Esme and I. Well, we're the only two siblings in our family at this level.
Yeah. Field Processor asks,
Did you
really
say
want
this
to
one?
know how the Luck handled being a single Twitch user, TheLuckMusic. Oh, but with two people.
Oh yeah.
And interacting in chat when not on their own stream. Is it Max? Is it Esme? Like when you guys hop in other
We should
channels?
probably. I do have to start like saying, "Hey, this is Esme." Otherwise,
Yeah.
without realizing it, people might think Max's tone of voice is me, or vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. People
I always
often say,
ask
like, "Oh."
because is this Max or Esme? Because I don't want to be like all winking at Max and stuff, in the camera, like, hey,
Don't worry, it's fine.
Max is like, what's up, big boy? Bring
I
it."
know.
Don't wink at me. I like the attention.
Max will say it's me next time, so you can get a wink.
Yeah. Wait, we could totally fool you guys because nobody would know, but
Yeah. Like the twins.
we're not really like. Yeah. We're not really like tricky. Like.
Ethereal Ghost asks,
People do ask.
as co-songwriters, how do you handle opposing opinions on which way to go with the song? This is actually a good question. Very good.
This is a good question.
Fight to the death. It's like celebrity death match.
I think we actually haven't written a song together for a while. We're about to start again.
Yeah, I mean,
usually, well, no, it's like we'll both put our opinions forward, and the funniest thing is that you end up justifying it with logic, which it's music, so there's no, this is right because of this.
Yeah, it's just I like this more.
Has there ever been like
okay,
a like
you like that more, and
like one of you guys being like just not stepping down? Because I remember being in a band and being like, no, I do not want to do this, or something.
Do you have certain phrases that are reserved for when you really feel strongly about it? Like you'll only say like, look, I really feel strongly about this one.
Yeah, but we have a tendency to go really high conviction on anything we might think. So
it's a very luck thing.
So we're like, look, it has to be this. It has to be this chord progression. There's no point. There's no
point
in even writing this song. Actually, you may as well just quit music if you don't go with this chord progression.
No, there's
a lot. There can be drama.
There is compromise as well.
Yeah,
you say, okay, I'm gonna trust you on this, but with this bit, please, like, I really don't want to change it. I just don't. And then, that's that. If you compromise, then you're like, okay, well, at least we're both listening to each of our opinions. And
yeah, we sometimes ask chat what they think, especially in performance. Like, wait, do you guys prefer it this way or this way?
But yeah, writing is hard because you have this kind of vision, and if you're both... I think the best is when you both start the song together. If you've started it separately, you've got this vision in your head, and to be honest, no one can... Always. You don't want to mess with this. You've just got to go all out. And a lot of the times, more recently, we're about to start writing together in the room at the same time again. But more recently, it's been we both write songs separately and we bring it to each other. And a lot of the time, there's no changes. I don't know how I can improve that. That's just good to go. Let's run with that. Or it's okay. That section doesn't hold together for me. Or cut the pre-chorus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find when I'm writing, I also have Max's voice in my head. Like, I know there's certain things. So when I wrote Leave Your Light On, the bridge was the pre-chorus for so long because I loved that bit of the song and I thought it led really well into the chorus. And I literally sat there going, but Max will say to you, the chorus comes in too late. And that this is great, but it's a bridge, and it's a bridge. So I was battling with it for so long. I was like, but what if it's a verse instead, and then the chorus will come in? I literally had his voice in my head just being like, don't do this. Before he even says it to you when you play it,
good work,
just make that the bridge. There won't be any arguments, and you're going to work a verse that's better as a result of it.
I mean, yeah, look, if you're coming to the table, as we are now, where there's a lot of mutual respect, we've both come a long way, both as individual musicians.
I hope we really are recording this so I can play that back to you.
Yeah.
Mutual respect.
A lot of mutual respect.
For real. No, there is. I mean, when we started, I felt like, we had to learn everything from scratch. And I had about...
When we started, Max thought I was crap.
Well, I just had more experience doing music. It's like Esme taught me what marketing was. Whereas I never even thought about, was it?
That was actually really hard in the beginning because you come to the table and you've got creative ideas, but before I learned guitar, it was very hard to get them across, and so Max would be like, oh no, just no. And I couldn't explain why or what I was thinking. And so, like, rightly so, he was thinking, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about because also she can't explain it to me, so let's just move on. And so that frustration changes, and as a result, the working relationship gets easier as you become more experienced yourself, which is partly why I've wanted to learn guitar and practice and write songs on my own so I can be a better half of the duo, so that collectively we can go a little further than me trying to struggle through writing
No, it is.
sessions.
It is. Well, it's a language, and if you can't fully express what you're talking about or thinking about, it is hard, to get a point across. Pint asked kind of the same thing, but how often do you all? Wait, I should say it like Pint. How often y'all disagree on
y'all.
things? Like not just music, but like if you guys go out to eat,
like in general.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Food
It's very easy
environments?
it's very easy with food because it's just like we'll just have everything.
Well, no, it's also we like the same food.
We like the same food, and also
You wanna go
sometimes
for Mexican
you're
or
limited on
yeah.
choices. But we tend to. I don't know. It's funny.
We do. There's a lot of uncertainty, and that leads to disagreements because you wake up one day and you see the glass is half empty that day, and you just go, I don't want to do this. I don't think this. And the other person's in a different frame of mind.
Yeah.
And then you argue because you're frustrated and...
We only argue when we're really stressed.
Yeah. That's the
when
only
things
time it
really
happens.
aren't going our way.
So guys in chat, if you see us on we try not to argue on stream, but you guys get the real deal. Sometimes there's a little...
We're brother and
thing.
sister. It's
but
difficult
it's
to be
usually
like...
when underneath it, we're stressed about something. That's,
Yeah. And usually be about things that we can't necessarily divulge because there's some things that that we're going through that it's it may not be appropriate to talk about on stream, especially like considering. So, but we do try our hardest to be kind of give you guys the most professional stream that we can, as long as that's as long as you exclude technology concepts from that. And
No, I respect that so
but,
much about you guys, and I think like you mentioned differences culturally, like I said everyone in America wants to help out, but there's also this like everyone in America also is like, here's all my problems. Whoops, I'm beating up the microphone. But like we say like, oh, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. Where I've noticed in people from Europe and specifically like England and stuff, you guys do wear a lot inside, sometimes. Just friends of mine that play. And I'm like, man, are you okay? And they're like, I don't know. We don't talk about it where I come from sometimes, and do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like, yeah, it's different. Sometimes,
well, yeah, That's true.
like streamers do go through a lot, and artists, even when they perform, if they're on stage or whatever, how many amazing people did we lose last year that we thought were living on, like, having the best days of their lives? So it is crazy. Everybody goes through stuff, and you do get that genuine.
And if you're a music streamer, you're creative, and you're probably very in touch with your emotions inside, whether you show it or not. I mean, I think everyone kind of is, but yeah, I mean, artists try and channel that into something, and I feel like we're quite emotional people. Yeah, and it's weirdly it's hard to hide. But you're right, we kind of try and continue. But
yeah.
It's
I don't know. You guys are Well, what I'm getting at is you get this sense. You come to your stream. Even if you guys are fighting or having a bad day, you still make me feel good. You don't bring me into your,
cool.
Even if, like you said, we might not know you guys are having a stressful day, but I love streams. Like when I go in and I feel, like, oh, they were having a bad day. I didn't even notice. Like that was, I don't know. You guys do a very good job of keeping everyone happy.
I agree.
Well, but the stream does that, right? Because you have to snap out of it and be like, okay, we're here and we've got an audience, then we want to play to them, and people have tuned in and they're chatting to each other, and we're going to give them what we can.
Yeah. I love it.
Well, how can we, as a community, connect with you guys even outside of your Twitch streams? Like, how can we find you? How can we find your album? Or any songs that you've recently released, like that kind of stuff. Tell us how we can support you as a community. We'll put it in chat so everybody knows, and we'll say it out loud for the podcast list.
We release stuff to Spotify. So our Spotify page has The single, well, it's got our last 3 EPs, but it's got single that we just put out. We're going to be releasing music once a month as well, which we're really excited about.
And you've done the artwork, like for really each single, right, Esme?
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to have that outlet as well, and join the music and the art together. Yeah, I'm super happy. So it's all on Spotify, and then we post to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and stuff. There's not as much. It's not as easy to get across your personality on those.
Yeah.
But we post all our updates on that, and if you guys want to come see us, like a properly live show, we post all our gigs to Facebook or bands in town. It's kind of an aggregate gig. Yeah.
I would wish you guys
TheLuckMusic, like Twitter and Instagram. Is it at TheLuckMusic or just LuckMusic?
Everything's at TheLuckMusic.
TheLuckMusic, got it. Cool.
Apart from Spotify, that is just The Luck.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm excited for what you guys have coming up. I can't wait to hear all the recordings, and I know your community does too. You know, they've heard these songs live, and to hear them in a production setting. I don't know. It's exciting.
Well, Max has been doing all the production of the songs that we'll release this year. Max has literally done in the same room that we Twitch from, which is really cool because it's our workspace, and it's great that we can record here and then give them to people on Twitch and put them out on Spotify. And then hopefully we'll release this album that we recorded with the guy in LA. Hopefully next year. Don't know.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're trying to do stuff with a strategy. It's really hard.
It's hard. It's very hard.
Yeah.
Well, like we've talked about on here.
Everything changes all the time.
Like artists now, we're the booking agent, we're the engineer, you're the producer, you're the travel coordinator, you're craft services, all in one. It's hard.
Yeah. But, it's full on. It is full on.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you for having us.
So exciting.
Awesome.
I was like, I'm going to fanboy the whole time.
I've been looking forward to this for so long.
Yeah.
So thank you, guys.
Thank you both for having us.
Yeah,
it's great to get to know you guys better, hear your story for sure.
Yeah, I love it. It's so good. And chat, thank you guys. I'm going to say goodbye to the audio version. So everyone say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye,
guys.
Thank you.